What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ, back in for another great episode. In today's episode, we are talking about the top 10 QBs for the fantasy football season of 2020, people. Hopefully, we are on track. I like to see news where it's saying, the NFL's planning start on time. They got training camp open up July 21st to the rookies, and then everybody will follow suit, and then appear in camp the later days. So I definitely am excited that the NFL season will hopefully start on time. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some training camp videos, you know what I mean? Seeing some chemistry being built, some development of these rookies that are coming into camps. But we're here to talk about the top 10 QBs. And yes, I got my Manchester United jersey on. Yeah, represent, glory, glory. You know the vibes. We just got that dub over Crystal Palace. But anyway, moving on, top 10 QBs. Let's get right into the episode. So we got the top 10 QBs for the 2020 fantasy football season. Now, 1 and 2, I really don't need to go in depth about. We already know who number 1 is, or number 2, or number 2 is 1, 1 is 2. Don't matter. It's a flip-flop. It doesn't matter. We know who they are. It's Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. So for you to know who I got at number 1, I feel like Pat Mahomes kind of edges out Lamar Jackson, being that he only had 14 games played last season due to injury. So I definitely feel like Lamar Jackson, he did his damn thing. He's the 04 Vic or whatever. And I feel like I definitely think that we'll have to see some more from Lamar Jackson for him to be crowned the number 1 spot. Because honestly, Pat Mahomes is going to get the yardage. He's going to get the touchdowns. We have to actually just think about who week to week is going to be giving us 35, 40 points. You know what I mean? I definitely think Lamar Jackson can be that. But again, it doesn't matter who's 1 and 2 here in the rankings because we already know they're both elite. They're both great. They're going to be on rosters. You don't have to think about, should I reach or let them try to follow me? It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. 1 and 2, Lamar Jackson, Patty Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I really don't want to go more into it. So number 3, Russell Wilson for the Seattle Seahawks. He has been the most consistent. I feel like he's always in the MVP talks every year, people. I feel like he just comes up in midseason like, yeah, Russell Wilson, MVP talk. You know what I mean? I always hear it. He's definitely consistent. I definitely like, the development that he got going on with DK Metcalf. I definitely think his rookie season was very impressive. And I think that connection between him and Russell Wilson is going to only grow. Tyler Lockett being the number 1 stud wide receiver for the Seahawks. Definitely like the weapons that Russell Wilson has. He has a very balanced running game, I would say. Chris Carson needs to stop fumbling the ball. But Carlos Hyde comes in, definitely should be able to help out, get less opportunities to fumble the ball. So I'm not too worried there when it comes to Chris Carson, Carlos Hyde, blah, blah, blah. Not really relevant right now because we're talking top 10 QBs. But Russell Wilson coming at number 3, I think it's fair. I don't think there really should be any debate why he's at number 3. Like, who else would you really put there under the 2 elites in the tier 1? So tier 2, if we're going to start tier 2 off, Russell Wilson has to be the top of that list. Now moving on, I'm going to be talking about Dak Prescott coming in at the number 4 spot, people. I do not think that Dak will hold out. I think he's going to, just suck it up, and then talk contract extensions next season. I definitely think Dak is going to play this year. He's going to be the starter. I don't think Andy Dalton's going to come in, step in while he holds out. I don't think any of that mess is going to happen. So I think Dak is just going to suck it up, play for $31 million, and then, call it a day. And his weapons. Do I really need to go crazy in depth about it? Like, if you don't know CeeDee Lamb, if you haven't watched his college tapes, how explosive he is, he has that home run ability. Got Zeke. I honestly think could be RB1, in the rankings, being that he caught COVID now. So you never know. COVID's not going to take him out during the season. So CMC and Barkley, I don't know. Y'all better catch COVID in the next 2-3 weeks before draft day. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't know. I might take Zeke at a confident, at the 1-on-1 spot, being that he, won't be able to catch COVID again. But that's a whole nother video, a whole nother thing. I'm getting off track today, man. I think it's because I drank this Red Bull or whatever the fuck. But anyway, now we're talking Dak. Dak managed still to be very productive. I mean, they don't have any playoff wins, they don't have the road to Super Bowl or whatever with Dak, but that 13-3 year, I think that's what he's living off of, trying to get that big money. But I honestly got to say, I do feel like it's a little distraction going into the season, but I think he's still going to ball out. So I still have him in the tier 2s. He's under Russell Wilson, coming in at number 3. So number 4, Dak, I think it's fair to put him that, being with the weapons he has. You just cannot deny CeeDee Lamb, Amari Turd, I should be saying, but Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, and along with the lead rusher back-to-back years of Ezekiel Elliott. So I definitely think that offense is going to be rocking and rolling. So Dak, full send at number 4. I really can't debate anybody else to put there. So moving on to number 5, Kyler Murray. Now, D-Hop is literally the only reason why I got him this high, because I could have swapped him out with the Deshaun Watson, which I got at number 6. So Kyler, I got 5. Deshaun, I got at, 6. And here's why. Now, it's kind of weird that, the two teams make trades and I got them back-to-back in rankings. I was fighting with myself saying that I can have Deshaun at 5 and Kyler at 6, but I don't know. I can't do that. I don't see Kyler struggling. You know what I mean? Kyler has D-Hop, and he has a better coach that wouldn't ever trade D-Hop. But anyway, he has D-Hop, so I don't see Kyler struggling. I see Kyler getting better. Now, with Deshaun and his situation, Deshaun is a raw talent. He's a special talent. He's good by himself, but I think he's going to struggle to show that greatness, to show us that he's the, Michael Jordan of football. I feel like he's going to struggle with the wide receiver core he has because of durability and availability. Like, Will Fuller, we know he's going to get hurt. There's no question. He's going to be hurt. It's just a matter of how many games he's going to miss this year. Now, Brandon Cooks, I feel like he's very productive. He definitely stretches the field, helps Deshaun Watson 110% when he's scrambling out of the pocket to make plays, just like what D-Hop was doing. But I do think that Randall Cobb comes in to be very mediocre. Kenny Stills, I'm not really too much of a big fan to throw him in a pot to say he's going to make Deshaun Watson better. If anything, Deshaun might make him better, but I don't think Kenny Stills is going to give me more pop and, any bang for him to be on my roster. And then Kiki QT, you know what I mean? He can't stay healthy either. So there's a lot of injury prone. There's a lot of question marks around some guys. There's a lot of mediocres, a lot of guys selling a lot of mid. So that's my problem with Deshaun, and that's why I have him at 6. But I still think he's going to be good. I made a bust video about him basically saying he's going to bust at his current ADP, which at the time was like in the 4th round, which I still think it is, which is still too high for my price for a QB who's probably going to struggle. So that's my only thing. So Kyler at 5, I think it's acceptable. You know what I mean? He's a top 5 quarterback. I think we, can agree on that. And then Deshaun at 6, you know what I mean? It's kind of painful that I put him there, but it is what it is. He has to be the last in that tier 2 that I would have to say to have with that struggling wide receiver core. I mean, it's true. So there's that. Let's move on to number 7. My dude, my guy I've been campaigning for these last 2 months, Josh Allen, people. He's getting a Stephon Diggs to help with his efficiency, help with his completion rate, help him overall to stretch that field. John Brown still there. Cole Beasley still there. I mean, Zach Moss comes in. Devin Singletary is going to be, maybe mid, or we saw his ceiling last season, but that's a whole nother conversation. But he has a great running game. The O-line is doing its damn thing. So I think overall, Josh Allen being able to run the ball, rushing attempts out of the park when it comes to red zone, he's going to, if it's a run play, he will audible that shit to where he holds the ball and he'll run that shit in. That's what I like about Josh Allen. He's not afraid to take a hit, but that is dangerous play for a quarterback that definitely can shorten his lifespan in the NFL. But I definitely like the way the kid plays. It's exciting to watch. Like, I get excited to watch Buffalo games now. I don't know why. Obviously, I'm a Rams fan, always a diehard Rams fan. But I like watching Josh Allen play. It's electrifying. So I definitely think he's going to be a top 10 QB, people. Don't listen to the hate. People are hating on him, saying that he's a QB2. He's going to finish maybe top 15. No, he's going to finish top 10, people. So I got him at the 7th spot, being that he's able to run the ball. He's able to throw the ball now. And hopefully efficiency and accuracy can be improved and be increased with Stephon Diggs being there as a overall wide receiver. So he definitely comes in as a great addition to help Josh Allen. Full send for top 10. Now my boy Matty Ice at number 8. Now Julio Jones is the elite of the elites. He is probably the best wide receiver in the league that I feel like I'm a big fan of Julio Jones, and he hasn't shown me any signs of him, slowing down in production and volume at all. So yeah, he's up there in the 30. He's about to be 32, I think, or he's 31 now. So I'm not too sure when that birthday hits, but it doesn't matter. Julio Jones is not slowing down, people. I'm still going to take him, coming out of that second round or at the end of that, first round if he's there for me. But I definitely think Julio Jones is definitely going to keep Matt Ryan relevant. Matt Ryan, I said it before, I preached it again. I'm probably going to put in like 5 more videos that I make, but the Matt Ryan curse is real, and it's been proven since 2012, people, like hot, cold, hot, cold. But I don't need to go into that anymore. I've been preaching that for the last 3 months. Now, Matt Ryan also has Calvin Ridley. I love Calvin Ridley. It's a great value. I definitely like how the kid plays, crisp routes, good hands, soft hands at that. You know what I mean? He's just going to be producing, and it's crazy. He's able to do the things he do with the Julio Jones on the other side of him. So I'm definitely excited for, Calvin Ridley. Then Hayden Hurst steps in to bring in, the fill in the shoes, plug and play from Austin Hooper going to Cleveland. So I definitely like Hayden Hurst. I definitely like that he's going to be getting at least 70 to 75 targets. You know what I mean? So he's going to be very productive, and they have a solid offensive squad, people. And not to mention, they got my boy TG30, Todd Gurley. Now he's number 21, but still. Todd Gurley also in Atlanta is definitely going to help Matt Ryan. They got a very good running game. I think Gurley's been working his ass off. I think Gurley still has something in his tank, but also he's on a 1-year contract, so Atlanta's going to run him to the ground. So there's really nothing to lose in that situation. So Matt Ryan coming in at number 8, I think is fair. Now, number 9, Carson Wentz. This was painful to put him at number 9 because we all know I hate Eagles. I hate Eagles fans. I just hate everything that is related to Philly. I'll say that. And I live 15 minutes from Philly. So all I got to say is like, I just despise that I had to put him on this list, but I cannot deny the dude's greatness. The dude can play. He's a baller. He managed to make 2 wide receivers, somewhat relevant week to week. Even when he had no wide receivers is the narrative that everybody was saying. Nelson Aguilar couldn't catch shit. Alshon Jeffrey is slowing down with injury and et cetera. Deshaun Jackson dealing with injury as well. Jaws didn't really live up to what we thought he was coming out of the draft. So there's a bunch of stuff and a bunch of factors of what is keeping Carson Wentz going higher into this top 10, but he still will produce. I mean, the rushing attempts, he had 64 rushing attempts. We haven't seen that, since before injury, So he's still rushing the ball. He's not scared. You know what I mean? I think that last year that he came back from the injury, he was kind of just like iffy about it. But we're seeing Carson Wentz get back into his groove to get back to what he was doing. So I definitely feel like Carson Wentz is going to be able to be serviceable this year where I can still pick him up in the later rounds as a QB1. He'll be like that tier 3 QB1 for me, being that he's so far down behind Kyler Murray of the Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? Like, we have these high-power talents, and I definitely feel like, Carson Wentz is going to produce regardless of who's playing wide receiver. He's going to make them plays. He's going to, he's going to find a way to win games as well. So I got him at number 9. It sucks, but whatever. He's at number 9. You know what I mean? He makes the top 10. He'll finish top 10 in 2020. No cap. Now, number 10 was a toss-up for me, really, because it's either out of Brady or Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford has Kenny Galladay. Matthew Stafford should be, healthy this year. I definitely feel like, if he stays healthy, Kenny Galladay can still produce a top 10, maybe even a top 5 wide receivers. So definitely having Kenny Galladay, the talent that he is, but even Starvin Marvin on the other side, definitely helping out, still producing, still finding a way to get, the yardage and still getting the targets. So I definitely think him and Kenny Galladay makes Matthew Stafford better. And Matthew Stafford is a tough son of a bitch. So I definitely think that he's going to give us another top 10 performance. And then there's Tom Brady with his new toys, and we got to see how that offense meshes out with Gronk, with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, Ronald Jones, and we'll see how all this goes together. And I definitely feel like Tom Brady has the tools to do it. He has the tools, honestly, on paper to be, top 5, even top 3, quarterback. But I definitely think age is a factor in this situation here. Maybe if this was like 4 years ago, then all right, I'll put him up there in the top 5. But we got to be honest with ourselves. Tom Brady's old. You know what I mean? He's going to a new team, a new location, new coaching, new system. We'll see how this goes. Will it be a Bruce Arians system or a Tom Brady system? We got to see who's going to be the coach. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to see these guys on film. I want to see them on the field. I want to watch them build this chemistry to see how good it will be, or if it's not working out. Like maybe, Chris Godwin's getting more targets out of Gronk and then Mike Evans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want Tom Brady to favor one wide receiver because that's what he's been having to do, having only one wide receiver that's actually relevant or actually good that he needs to target. If it's not Gronk or Brandon Cooks when he was there with Gronk, or if it's not Julian Edelman, or you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of mediocre wide receivers that he had to deal with. So now that he's getting these new tools, I definitely want to see if he can actually produce, more than the top 10 performance that I'm thinking. So I think it's safe to put him and Matthew Stafford at number 10. Really, it should be a top 11 list, but whatever. I'll have them both, sharing the top 10 because it's really a toss-up. I'm not too sure. I'm leaning more towards Matthew Stafford because I don't know how this new system or how Brady's going to react to having, a wide receiver or 2 wide receivers, I should say, that are actually serviceable, that are actually good, that are elite, that can actually help him out. So we'll see what happens. I'm just rambling at this point. This Red Bull got me tweaking right now. But anyway, that is really my top 10 list. I think it's fair. I don't think there's really any debate or any, shocking rankings. I mean, if there are, let me know. Just leave a comment below or hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case may be, how you're watching this video. But definitely let me know if I'm wrong on this list. We had Patty Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Dak, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Tom Brady / Matthew Stafford. That is my top 10 of Real Deal Fantasy list, where I think these guys will have this top 10 list at least be close to it. Maybe it shifts somewhat at the end of the year, but we'll see. I always save these top 10 videos just to see how it panned out, or if there's a new up and coming, star. Maybe we'll see Joe Burrow finish 9th where I got Carson Wentz. Who knows? I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Freaking T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and then AJ Green coming back, signed his franchise tag. Joe Mixon killing it. We will see what happens with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's my top 10 list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got some information that you guys can use to help you guys bring home the gold. I want you guys to like and subscribe and share for your boy because I need the help. Road to 1,000 starts now, people, and I hope and I pray that I see you guys next week for another great episode for Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Peace.